but yeah, and then you know how you mentioned it releases stress and everything, and you mentioned school. So there was a time 4 years ago
4 years ago
4 years ago where she was about to drop out of college.
First semester to be exact.
First semester, first year.
Yeah, freshman year. It was very hard for me school wise. The reason for it was that I never felt like I really had like a talent out of like, you know, musical, I don't know, like painting, sports wise, you know.
Same here.
So I felt like one, it was like an obligation, and especially like my parents are very I wouldn't say traditional, but growing up, that's all I heard, you know, like you have to go to school,
finish, you know, be the first one to finish college,
especially like as the oldest. That's another fact for me.
It's a big pressure right there.
I'm the oldest from my 3 younger brothers, so my dad and my mom always told me, like, you know, like they're watching you, you know, they're looking up to you, like whatever you do, like they're watching you, and if you do something wrong, like they're gonna do something wrong because they see it, you know. And so if you do something good, then they're gonna follow the same way. So it was always that, like that was always in my head. And so like I felt that I had to go to school, you know, like because I felt like, okay, I don't have no other talent, so you know I gotta go. And just even during high school, like applying, the process was exhausting as well, you know, like even writing.
We're thankful to have gotten the help.
Miss Gomez.
Imagine if we had not gotten the help to apply.
That would have been so even more difficult than it was already. But even starting from there, and then once I think my issue was that I got like 6 classes my first
Oh my god, semester. Yes, she did.
I had 6 classes. And that was because, I mean, I don't know, I went to my freaking what is that one thing called? The orientation. Orientation. So I went to orientation. They're like, oh, like the more classes you do, like the better, like you can do it, you know.
That is true, but we learned that taking 6 classes in college is not the same as taking 6 classes in high school. It's so different. Much harder too.
And a lot more work, like more intense and stuff. So I was like, okay, you know, I could do it. You know, like I did it in high school, like you obviously said, you know. So I was like, I could do this. So I did 6 classes, and my other thing was that I got an 8 a.m. My schedule was so bad. Oh my god. Just even think about it, it brings me terror. I had an 8 a.m. class, and I got out, my last class was till like 5, I think.
I remember those days.
So it was like very hard. Like I was full-time, obviously full-time student, but like I had the whole day, and then between that, okay, I would understand if it was like back-to-back classes, you know, 8 through 5 p.m. But no, I had like a 2 or 3 hour gap in between. So that just killed me. Like I didn't want to be in school and having that much time in my hands. Like I didn't know what to do, you know. So then like it just like drives me crazy, you know. Like I was,
and like keep in mind, like everyone's doing their own things. So for them, like most of my years, I was by myself. And when I had those long gaps, I was by myself too. I would just go sit down, go eat by myself.
That was also the thing, you know, that I was very like, I was so used to being not around a lot of people, but around at least someone, you know. Like I was always with Daniela or with other friends and stuff. And so, you know, I never felt like that sense of being alone. You know? And then like now that you go to college, you know, even having Daniela, you know, like other people that we known there, it was just like they weren't there, you know, because everybody is like already going through their own path, you know. So, you know, like you had your own schedule, I had my own schedule, and if we got like the opportunity to actually see each other, it was like, oh, you know, rewarding and like very nice to see us, to see each other. But like during that time in the beginning, you know, they don't really give you like homework and stuff, but I was traumatized with like the syllabus, You know, the syllabus, like, it's so crazy when you get there. Like, they just read on the syllabus, like, oh, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, and it's just like, I don't know, I felt like so overwhelmed. Like, I was doubting myself if I was gonna be able to do it.
Yeah, no, I get you.
And then I did not know about Rate My Professor. So for any of y'all that are starting college, use Rate My Professor.
I think I found out to like my second, almost third year.
So obviously, I had bad schedules, bad professors. So my statistics professor. Oh my Lord Jesus! I don't even know if I should burn him out right now, but. I remember that we used to call him, like, the group that I would hang out with in that class, we used to call him Little Stuart.
Little Stuart? Oh my god.
I mean, Stuart Little. There we go.
Little
Stuart.
Little Stuart.
Stuart Little.
Yeah.
And, his accent was the worst. Like, we could not understand a thing he said, you know? So, me being bad at math, you know, having a bad professor and having an accent, I was just like, oh my god, you know, like, I felt so overwhelmed. And I honestly can't remember what classes I took, but I think they were like hardcore classes, especially the math one. Oh, you must know.
Yes, we took math the first year. We just had different professors, and we would still meet up to help each other, because sometimes we would teach about the same thing around the same time. But oh my god, we just wanted to get that out of the way, because we've always hated math.
Math is not my strongest. Definitely not. But yeah, Maria, that one time that we got together to do the study guide.
Girl! Oh my god.
So we got this one time. It was actually the final.
Bring my trauma to this.
Girl, you opened my trauma.
Okay, continue.
So we were getting together to do the last portion of the
final.
The final, literally the final. So we got together, like, hey, like, let's hang out in school and stuff like that to work on the final and stuff. So we went, you know, we were on campus, and it was during the summer.
Yeah, it was very hot that day.
Very hot. So we were there, I think, till like 10?
No. Wait, maybe.
Yeah, it was late. Like, maybe like 9.
Wait, because what time did we meet up? Like
not early.
3?
Probably like at 3.
3-ish.
And then we had to do the whole study guide.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
It was pretty long. But it was already dark. That's what I remember. When we left, it was already dark. Yeah. And Maria here, she has good blood, if y'all didn't know.
Oh my god.
She got bit by all the mosquitoes that were there.
Oh my god. That day, it was cute. The thing is, I didn't even feel them until I got home. Because I wore black leggings that day. And short
Never
sleeve.
leggings.
And a short sleeve. I did not feel a single bite or nothing, right? It wasn't until after that I went home to shower. I was like, why is my arm itchy? And then I see, and I was like, oh hell no, I got bit by mosquitoes. The next day, bruh, I was like, I checked my legs, full of mosquito bites. My arms full of mosquito bites. I suffered for a good week and a half to 2 because of the whole itchiness. They're like red spots too. I
remember, I think that night or the next morning, like, you sent me a video of like how your arms and legs were. I was like, no way. And you asked me, you're like, did you get bit or anything? I was like,
she
no,
didn't at
all.
Like,
I'm good.
And we were sitting next to each other. I was like, how did you not get bit? But I did.
But I did have a good encounter with the squirrel.
Oh yeah, there's a skinny squirrel. She was eating the chips, and he did.
Yeah,
so something, you know, to eat.
It was too skinny, guys, so I had to. Hey, didn't that same day, like, you laid down when we were going down to get picked up? It was by like the, what is it, the health center, I think, or whatever.
Oh yeah, that we were gonna sleep there.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I can find that too, I'll insert it.
Girl, I could find that one.
You can see them right here. But yeah.
So yeah, I mean, going back to, you know, my trauma with dropping out. Yeah, so I was almost gonna drop out. I remember I would catch the bus with Angel, one of my good friends, Angel. And I would catch the bus like at 6:45. I think that's the time the bus would pass. And then like I think like 3 stops more ahead, like he got on the bus, you know.
Oh, okay.
So once he would get on the bus, like I would save him his spot, and like, I would just be like, dude, like wake me up when we get there, you know, because I didn't want to like be there, but at the same time, the more I slept, I felt the more I like kind of numbed that whole feeling of like being scared of going to campus. So yeah, like I would knock out in the bus, like I would knock out, and then when we would get there, he'd be like, hey, like we're here and stuff like that. And it was still so early. I think we would get there like on a good day, on a fast day that the fucking bus driver would go, like we would get there like 7:25. Okay. And my class was at 8. Yeah, you know, so it was just like so dragging. Like I just at the same time I wanted to get the day over with, but at the same time like I didn't, you know. At the same time I wanted to stay those you know, half hour or whatever, like there, not going to class and stuff like that. And we would get there, find a table, and again I would knock out, you know, be like, wake me up, you know, 10 minutes before we would go or whatever. And then sometimes he wouldn't even go to class, you know. He'd be like, I know. His other friends would show up. Oh my god, I'm like burning out Angel here. Angel, if you see this, I'm so sorry. And then he would be like, like let's go or whatever, and I was like, like I wanted to, but at the same time, I had math in the morning, I think. Oh, that's even so I was just worse. Like, you know, 8 a.m. starting with math. Oh, it's the worst. Yes. Yeah. And then I think I ended with English. Yeah, I ended with my English class. Yeah, I started with boring and I ended with boring, you know. And then like I was just, you know, so scared, and then I would tell him, you know, like, hey, like I want to drop out, you know, like I don't think this is for me. I don't. I was still undeclared. Oh yeah, undeclared. I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I know I wanted to work with kids, but I didn't know like what exactly. You know, I wanted to be a nurse. I wanted to be what else did I want to do? Like ultrasound. Oh wait, what? Aside from that, I already do that. I'm just kidding. It's what is it called? Ultrasound, like the. Oh those the ultrasound people. Yeah, sorry, I don't know what they're called. You don't know what we're talking about. But then I would get into so much like thoughts, you know, like negative thoughts most of all. You know, I'm not a negative person, but my brain just gets there sometimes. Gets there, yeah. And I would be like, okay, you drop out and you go do that. But what if, like, you know, it's not always gonna be happy moments, you know, like that's true. Like, oh yeah, congratulations, you have a boy, you have a girl, or whatever. You know, like something gonna be like, oh, like, I see this, or you know, like this and that, and it's just like it's hard, you know, or like, oh, I also want to be what is it called, labor and delivery nurse. Oh, okay. Because I'm telling you, I wanted to work somewhere with kids, babies, and like stuff like that. So, pediatrician, I was like, no, that is too much school. I cannot do that. So I want to do that too, and then I'm telling you again, with my brain, I was just like, but what if, like, you know, the baby's born and it's like, oh, like he's not breathing, you know, he's not this, he's not that, or like he's born like this, you know, and like telling the mother or telling like whoever's there present with the mother, like it's hard, you know, and I'm a very like sensitive person to topics like that, you know, especially because I have a lot of love towards like kids and stuff like that. So it's just like it's hard, you know. So I would just get so much in my head, and I would tell Angel, and then also Gustavo I would tell him, he's like, no, like they always push me, especially like you and Rogelio, you know, like I would tell him, and you guys were like very like motivational towards me, but in that moment I was just like, you guys don't know what I'm going through, you know? It's just I want to do it and I can't do this, you know. Like I always saw you guys as like smarter than me, you know, like like that you guys were like, yeah, I can do this or stuff like that, but you know, like we never know deep down how we feel, you know, and stuff like that, and sometimes you gotta be stronger for a person that's down, you know. So yeah, so I was just like, I mean, I felt like I would see you guys like going to class or like doing your stuff, and I was just like, yeah, because you guys are smart, you know, like that's how I always thought of you guys, like these high people, you know.
That's crazy, because at least in myself, I don't see myself as a smart person.
No, yeah, definitely. I mean, I always, and I still to this time, you know, I see you as like a very bright person, you know. Like,
well, thank you. Yeah, you are very bright too.
So yeah, it was just like I was already, honestly, I had already called what is that, admissions, or I don't know,
the admission, pretty much the admissions acceptance office.
Yeah, so I had already like talked about like what can I do, like can I just drop out like that, or they're like, oh, well, if you planning, like I was planning to return, you know, like take a break, a semester off, and then go back. And I think they told me like a leave of absence type of thing.
Okay.
So they told me like you have to get like signatures from all your professors, like saying like that, yeah, they're fine with it or something like that. I was just like, that's crazy, you know, it's my life, you know, like let me just do it. But here at home, I also got support from my parents, you know, like especially my dad. He always told me, you know, que me das que sea fácil, you know, like nothing in this life is easy.
That's
you know,
true.
You have to work for what you want, you know, and if it's not gonna be easy, it's always gonna be like something in the road that's gonna like stop you, but you have to, you know, go over it, you know. He always told me like, tienes que romper esa barrera, you know, like tienes que romperla. And I was just like, I'm telling you, like going back to me, like I felt like I wasn't understood, you know, like I would go to school and you guys would tell me the same thing, you know, you can do it, like don't drop out, you know. I was like, yeah, you just say it, you know. And I felt the same thing with my parents, and like they would just say it, you can do it, you know. But like after like my first semester, I think my second year, I took 4 classes. After that, like I took 4 classes, and like it was so much better, you know. I actually I think I took the class that I really like. I'm more like into history and stuff like that. Girl. So I took this Pan-African Studies class. I still remember I took a Pan-African Studies class, and I loved that class. Like I felt in that class like chill, you know, like I learned a lot, definitely, but I felt like it was just my safe space, you know, in regards to like school and stuff. But yeah, I took 4 classes, so that helped me out a lot. And then I think like especially just you guys, you know, having that company, you know, like Jackie was also a good friend of mine that would always hit me up, you know, like, hey, are you on break or something like that? And I was actually on break, you know. Luckily I was always on break, so I'll be like, oh yeah, you know. She's like, oh, like oh, where you at, like I'll meet you up and stuff. So yeah, we would meet up, and sometimes like honestly, like we wouldn't even talk, but just having her there, you know, or having a company of each other, like I felt safe, you know. I felt like good and stuff. So yeah, I had like very good friends that actually helped me, you know, that pushed me most of all, you know. I felt embarrassed, you know, saying or telling you guys, you know, how what I was feeling and stuff like that. But I think if I would have just kept it in and not like tell anyone, I was actually gonna do it, you know. I would actually just leave it,
because we would have not known what you were about to do.
What I was about to do. So yeah, and then after that, I'm telling you, like I took those just 4 classes, and I felt like, okay, I can do this, you know. And then 5 classes, and I was like, oh right, this is what I can do, you know. And then we got like some classes together.
We were lucky enough to get some classes together, which was a big help, especially with communications.
Communication.
Well, specifically argumentative, right?
Argumentative, yeah. Argumentative.
Because fun fact, I hate presenting. Do you hate presenting?
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, I could talk with people, but not in front of a crowd. Yeah. And I think that's very different.
It's very nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
So that definitely helped.
Just saying a speech for like 5 minutes.
5 minutes, it's a lot when you're up there, bro, by yourself.
Yeah, just standing there.
And the fact that we couldn't even have like a paper to read out from. Yeah. Having to remember everything in order is, we were just, the nights before the day of, we would be just talking about how scared we were to go present. But yeah, there's some good times in there.
Good times, also there. Yeah, I mean, it was for like me personally, you know, like now after that, like my first semester and after finding out about Ray, my professor, obviously like my whole experience changed, you know. Yeah, it was much more smoother, and then having like the luck, you know, to have you guys in some of like the classes, you know, it was good. Which was like general classes, you know, because when it came to like actual
our major
classes, like Obviously we met other people that also were good friends, you know. That it's crazy though, but it kind of sucks that sometimes you just meet that person for like that one semester, you know. And then the thing about me was that like I met a lot of people through within my major that were already gonna graduate.
Oh,
you know,
so they were leaving already.
So they were leaving already. You know, they're like, oh, I would talk to them and like become like very good friends and stuff. They're like, oh, I'll be like, oh, like what classes are you taking next? You know, and they'd be like, oh, like I'm already gonna graduate. You know, I just needed this class, and I was just like, oh, you know, like I had to find people again. You know. But luckily, my last 2 years, I did find a good friend of mine that we still keep in touch. Stephanie, she was a very like chill friend and stuff. Like even up till now, we still like talk to each other and stuff. And she became a very close friend of mine within my major. You know, so that was good. You know, at least I was like, I mean, I didn't end up with a lot of like friends within my major, but like some of them that I did, you know, it was just very helpful, you know. Even
it really is, because like you said, I didn't meet a lot of people in my, I mean, there's a couple, right, that I actually formed a friendship bond with, especially because it was during the pandemic, so we met a lot mostly through online. Like I have a good friend who I had not seen in person because it was online until the day of graduation. We were like, oh, we should like meet up to take a picture, you know. And yeah, we did that.
That was me. You took a picture with me.
Girl, about that.
But I mean, towards the end.
Yeah, what made you like stay in school after all? Besides like the support you did.
The support, I think it was just actually like taking the second semester, my first year, taking 4 classes. I think that definitely helped me a lot. Because it was just so much for me, you know, the first semester taking 6 classes, you know, like nobody in my family has graduated, you know, first generation basically. And you know, I didn't really have anybody to go to, like or my cousins or stuff like that, or any relative like tell me like, hey, like do this or don't do this or like stuff like that. So I kind of had to make my own path, you know, towards like school and stuff. And being a person that thought that I thought of myself I'm never liking school, you know, like now I'm like okay with it, you know, like I enjoy being in school. And like now that I'm out, like it's just
like damn
kind of thing, you know, like damn,
like our whole lives it was all about school.
How many years of school did we actually do?
Damn, like 20 something if you count kindergarten. And like,
well, even before that I did like Head Start or something like that.
Shoot, that's crazy.
Even more. I think that's like
our whole lives pretty much. Our whole lives. Damn, it's crazy.
But yeah, like now I think totally different, you know. Like now
you're happy
I'm happy that I actually like graduated, that I pulled through it, you know. But obviously I couldn't have done it alone, you know. Like I also had my cousins that also supported me, you know. I remember that they would take me out and talk to me and like, you know, tell me like, you can do it, you know. Like I can, like, because my cousins are immigrants, you know. So I think they could, you know, the DACA and stuff like that. But it's just like it was so different for them, you know. And she tells me, you know, like you're born here, you know, you have that privilege most of all, you know, to not have to worry about like, oh, actually, like kind of asking for permission to go to a university, you know.
The privilege of you guys having FAFSA too.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. So she told me, you know, like you can do it, like it's not gonna be easy, but I know you can do it and stuff. And so that helped me out a lot. And like now that I'm out, you know, like I view things different, you know. Like if I could have known that I was gonna make it out, you know, graduate and have my degree, like I would have been fine with going through what I did my first semester, you know. But obviously you don't know until you get there, you know. And I felt like I would look at 4 years, and especially my first semester, I was like, dude, I have nothing. I have like weeks barely, you know, like how the fuck am I gonna get to 4 years, you know? And but I think like once you actually start doing like your major classes, like everything everything changes, you know, like it's just like I wanted to go to school, you know, like learn about different stuff, and basically what my career is now, you know. So I think it was definitely worth it at the end, you know. Like now, I'm like, oh yeah, I graduated, like you know, like I feel like I feel good about it. But you know, I always think back, like
if you would have dropped out, I feel like you would have felt that regret now. Of not continuing.
Especially like seeing all my friends, all of you guys like graduate, you know, like it would have been even more on me, you know, personally, that I could have been like, shit, I should have stayed. You know,
like you would have been like, that could have been me right now.
Exactly, you know, or watching guys, like obviously I would have been like happy for you, but you know, me personally, it would have been like, what did you do for yourself, you know, kind of thing.
Because it's an accomplishment. And then you feel like that sense of like, oh, I've accomplished something in life so far, which makes me want to pursue more.
Exactly. So I was just like, now, you know, I see things different. I'm like, damn, like it's the feeling of actually walking on stage, like it's just so. And I mean, thankfully we actually got the opportunity to walk on stage, because
the year before us
2020 didn't get to walk, and 2021 tampoco. So you know, and I had friends, I'm telling you, I had friends that also were like, oh, I worked so hard to get to this moment, and actually not having it, you know. And I don't think they actually had like a ceremony even after that.
Sadly
they
didn't.
So it's just like I felt like that also brought me down in like a certain point, because like, am I actually gonna walk the stage, you know, or you know, is it like stuff like that?
I think so.
It was all worth it, and like thank you to the people that helped me, you know, like Maria, Rogelio, Angel, Gustavo, Jackie, Daniela, you know, a lot of people, and other friends, you know, that maybe I forgot at this moment, you know, and I'm sorry if I did. You're probably looking at this like, damn, you forgot me. But thank you for, you know, pushing me and actually like, you know, believing in me in a way, you know.
No,